I don't feel like the majority of his reaction content is from stuff from other creators. And then when he does do stuff from other creators, it's usually, I know you've talked about like cannibalizing videos in the past, but it's usually like bigger creators like Ludwig or something, and he's like kind of spotlighting their video almost.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that that can also kind of take away from that creator's stuff. But I think he has a good content model when it comes to reacting to news and like television type media,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
he's capitalizing on an audience that doesn't want to go to those platforms to consume that.
Yeah.
They want to consume it on the Twitch platform.
Correct.
And I think that's why he's been so successful, is he's appealing to the Twitch base with the content that is television by providing it in a way that makes it more palatable because of the commentary that he's providing. And I think that's genuinely, like, he has genuine talent to do that.
Yeah.
And I think also it's very taxing for him to do that, because basically he has to constantly justify why you want to consume it on his platform specifically.
Yeah.
And
he
so
could,
while
like,
those
if he
comments
stops
come off
doing
out
what
of
he's doing, like he's going to be forgotten. And that's one of the things that is the danger. Like, that's where it's like, if you're not posting, if you're not live, like, it's like the incentive model is to be live as much as possible, because also he's in that top echelon. And what happens is that you're in that spot, and I've talked to people, like, some people have described it as, it feels like a curse, because if you take a break, you're gone, you know. And it's like, and to build back up. Yeah. Well, and this is the thing, like, I don't think it's sustainable. And I think a lot of people, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of people are going to wake up and, you know, unfortunately 20 or 30 years when it's too late, and be like, holy crap, dude. Like, I dedicated it, and then it's gone. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they'll have like insane amounts of relevancy
point, and then they don't care anymore. Like, they've done what they want to do. Like, we've seen that a lot, like in terms of like how PewDiePie's content model has changed. Dado said that after Final Shape, he's basically gonna just do a year-long sabbatical, and then he may come back, he may not. Like, I think people who have done it at the top long enough are like, I kind of did what I wanted to do. I don't want to do this forever. And everybody kind of reaches that point on their own clock. It's nice to see, though. Like, I know there's definitely people out there that are like, what do you mean Dado's not going to make any more content? It's like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if it's just because I'm not like a huge Dado fan or something, but I like, it's nice to see, like, oh, like, he's going to take some time for himself. Like, that's nice. Like, I think that's like a good thing. I like seeing that. If Hassan said he was going to disappear for 6 months, I mean, I would watch Hassan when he comes back. Not that I watch Hassan a lot, but I would watch him when he comes back after 6 months. You know, like, that's not a problem for me. I think he should take 6 months off, you know, maybe after the election or something. But
yeah, and then going into an election season for that kind of political commentary, it's like,
no, he's gonna blow up all over again.
He's gonna, but also, like, that's just like where, when a Destiny expansion happens, like, we talked to My Name Is Bife about this, and he's like, you know, Destiny is a feast and famine model, where it's like, you really only get your bread during like this hype period, and then it dies down, and then you have to like do the work and figure out how to survive, and then you get the hype season back again. And I'm like, man, like, that's where I was like, I'll tell people, like, as a parent, like, that's just not feasible. Like, it's just like, if you want to have kids and this, like, you can't, I don't think you can do both. And that's where, you know, I'm like, man, I hope you don't sacrifice, you know, if you want to have a family, you know, for streaming, because like, it could be gone tomorrow. Like, who knows? Comfort level, short rest.
Yeah, True Vanguard pivoted off of a lot of, he doesn't do as much Destiny content anymore.
Yeah, and I announced my retirement from Final Fantasy 14 like, what, 18, 19 months ago, and it's like, I knew the backlash was
on a couple of years.
Yeah, like 2 years this October, so it's like roughly, you know, about a year and a half. The and it's like, I knew that I was going to get backlash, because I knew that that's the side of the community that actually, but I was like, yeah, the people who were like, yeah, this totally makes sense. Like, more like 99% of the responses are like overwhelmingly positive. It's like, yeah, man, you know, it's like, no one's, you know, like, we don't want people to do things that they don't want to have, you know, aren't having fun with. And it's like, yeah,
was
like,
your Prime set up as a Final Fantasy 14 channel though, or
not initially. Like, I actually specifically kept Final Fantasy content off of the Prime channel, because I did not want to limit my ability to make other videos. And no offense
As we
to
see now with work to game.
yeah, well, yeah, and it's like, so I did eventually bring my Final Fantasy 14 content to the channel, but I've kept it relatively lean, so I'm not like not covering the news.
Mainly just your controller guides. I think.
Right? The things that I'm like, yeah, this will be helpful for people. Uh-oh, I need to eat. Okay. Do I have 6 maybe? Can I eat the berries?
When you announced your retirement, I guess quote unquote retirement from FF14, like there are people who like Mike, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, I saw this coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Like there were a bunch of people who have been watching you for a while and just like we're not surprised. And I was like,
like and it's like we lost Rock. Rock passed away, and it's like what am I doing? Like, you know, I'm not having like the Final Fantasy 14 isn't going to become the MMO that I wish that it would become. But that's like, yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Probably.
What's up?
It's probably started off as the MMO that you wanted to play.
It had its issues when 1.0 started for sure, but I was like, yeah, like, and I think that going into the 2.0 model, and going into the 2.0 model though, like I was like, oh, we sacrificed these things, and so by Stormblood, and like, yeah, people say coming from a mile away, you could just go watch any of my Stormblood content. It's like, I didn't think, and I actually I like Stormblood now, but I like their story now, with Bozja being something that I felt concluded Stormblood. Like Bozja as a story, I felt like that was the missing piece in that expansion. But I was always hopeful that we continue to see them kind of bring in a little bit more of that sandbox MMO, that player, like the reason why I should go gather. And it's like, oh, it's just, they're just kicking the can. Like we're just in, like, all they've done is change the skybox, and you know, like, all right, like, and I'm like, that's fine. I get it from a business perspective, you know. But Yoshi P has continually advocated to take breaks from the game.